Yo, yo, I'm back with the Finance Friday Live. Oh no, that's blocking my. Well, y'all, I am back with Finance Friday Live. I know it's been like a month since I did one. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in here. It's been like a month since I've done one. And I just been having health stuff going on or whatever. But long story short, I'm back because there's so much to talk about. I know we missed a lot. Before I get started, though, quick announcement: I have an event tomorrow. If you're local in Greensboro, hey girl, hey, please interact with me too. I can see the comments and stuff. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do Facebook, y'all. I'm a little rusty. Bear with me just one moment. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. No, I was kidding. Nah, let me know you here. Say hey, what have you. But I forgot to look. Ooh, I don't want you talking Twitter. Okay. I think I'm live everywhere now. Okay, we good. All right, y'all. so tomorrow I have an event. It's the Domestic Violence Awareness Panel. Please come out if you're local to Greensboro. It'll be at 9 o'clock in the morning, bright and early, 111 Bain Street. And we'll be talking, it's a panel with a judge, Carolyn Pemberton, Sheriff Danny Rogers, myself. I'll be talking about financial abuse and stuff like that. And then also someone from Family Services of the Piedmont, and she'll be talking about sexual abuse. So we try to cover all the types of abuse, all the questions you may have, whether you have experienced it yourself. Please come and share your story, or if you know someone that knows someone that knows someone that might need help, please come and get some resources so you can better help your loved ones, family, and friends. So definitely check that out. That's tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Let's see what else. I don't know. Whatever I think about, I'll think about it later. But I want to get into what I wanted to talk about today when it comes to the monies, right? So, a lot of buzz has been going on about I bonds. If you have heard of I bonds, drop it in the chat. Let me know. It's been a lot of buzz going around because honestly, it's giving people the best bang for their buck right now, to be real with you. The interest rate on I bonds is 9.62%, which is very, very high, especially if you look at like savings accounts. So a lot of people have been forking their savings over into bonds. Now, the only caveat with these is that you have to keep it in for at least a year. So I've helped a few clients this week purchase some, and we put like our extra emergency fund in it. We still kept some that's liquid. Um, so that way, if an emergency comes up, we can use it immediately. But anything extra, like for instance, we did maybe like 1 or 2 months liquid, and then the rest of it we put into I bonds, because 9.62%, you're not going to find that, especially not in the market. If you've been watching the market right now, don't because I can tell you it's going down, which is good for long-term investors because now is the time to buy. Everything's on sale. But if you're one of those people that like to watch, don't, because your heart gonna hurt right now. But it's okay. Um, so I bonds, they just released this rate. The rate is based on inflation. Okay. So that's why it's so high right now. The rate changes semi-annually, so every 6 months. So they just announced this one in May. This goes until October. So that interest rate that I said, the 9.62%, if you buy it before October 2022, you're locked into that rate. So just keep that in mind. Now, once you so in October they'll make another announcement and they'll change it. Now if inflation keeps going up, then that interest rate's going to keep going up. If inflation starts to go down, then of course it'll go down. But like I said, you only have to leave it in for at least a year in order to not be penalized. And then let's say if you take it out, I think it's before 3 years if I'm not mistaken, then you only lose the last 3 months of interest. So I hope I didn't confuse anybody with that, but that's pretty much how they work. So do not put your money in an I bond if you think you're going to need the money within a year. Okay, then it would defeat the purpose. But if you don't think that you will, then this is a great investment to put your money in now. Really quick, this is not investment advice. So I can protect myself. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm just giving y'all options and opening up your mind to different things that are available. And there's been a lot of buzz about these. And I just wanted to make sure that, our people knew some stuff too. And then also, with I-bonds, which I found out today, I actually researched this for someone else. Unfortunately, you can't convert other government bonds to I-bonds. So the only way to purchase an I-bond, if you have like a double E or E savings bond, you have to cash it out, which means you will have to pay taxes on your interest and then put it into an I-bond. So my conclusion with that person was, don't worry about it. Just get an I-bond with any extra money you might have. Because this was an older gentleman. He said he has paper bonds, like he's been doing this for a while. But the maximum you can get is $10,000. The minimum is $25. So y'all, if you have, let's say a couple $100, whatever, that's just sitting there, you don't need it for your emergency fund or what have you, throw it in here and get 9.62%. Why not? So don't think that this is something that you need a lot of money to do. Like I said, the minimum is $25 for electronic. If you want to get a paper one, it's $50, but the maximum for electronic is $10,000. So a lot of people have been maxing these out because right now, as you know, inflation is very, very high. So I just wanted y'all to know about that type of investment vehicle because I feel like a lot of people don't know about this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of people don't know about the government bonds that are out there. So you can purchase these treasurydirect.gov. You purchase it straight from the government. And that's it. I just wanted to bring that up for y'all. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully I made sense. Hopefully it didn't go over your head. I tried to, simplify it as much as possible. It is what it is. And bonds, if you all aren't familiar with bonds, so bonds, you're pretty much loaning the government money. Okay. Now the government is going to pay what they owe, right? Because it's the government. We pay them, they pay us. So, bonds are typically more less risk than stocks per se because they're more debt centered versus stocks, which is based on how much a company makes or how much a government makes. So just keep that in mind too. Bonds are typically a little more safe than stocks, less volatile, we'll call it that. So keep that in mind. I know personally I'll be getting some soon because 9.62%. I know I keep saying that, but that's a lot. That's a lot in interest. So anyway, please let me know if you have questions. Let me check the chats. I missed y'all for real. I miss talking about money. It's been like I've been on hiatus for like a month and it was so boring. So boring. Let me check. Are we good on Facebook? No questions. YouTube, no questions. All right. Well, let's move right along. Let's talk about this market while we at it, while we talk about investments, right? So, like I said in the beginning, the market has been tanking. But here's the thing, y'all. This is how it all works. This is how the economy works. It ebbs and flows all the time. So we're just in a point where it's starting to do one of these numbers. Because see, the market throughout time, it goes like this, right? So I would say right now we're probably in like and don't quote me because nobody really knows until we hit rock bottom, but I feel like we about getting there. Okay. So I feel like we're going into a recession if we're not there already. Now, I say we don't know because generally you have to have a certain amount of quarters of GDP decline in order for them to officially declare a recession. But if you look at the inflation, if you look at gas prices, if you look at wages, things like that, all the indications are there that we are coming up on something. So in those times, it's best to have your investments in stuff that is a little more safe, so to speak. Or if you're long term, so let's say you don't need this money for a while, now is the time to buy because everything is on sale. If everything is going low, that means you can buy low. And then later on, when you need it, you can sell high because it doesn't matter how low it goes, eventually it's going to come back up. That's just how it is. If you look back at 2008, 2009, we have been surpassed those numbers for a while. So just keep that in mind. Don't let it scare you. Investing is money in general is very emotional. Um, so you kind of have to get your emotions out of it when you're a long-term investor. A lot of people make emotional decisions. So like when they see it go down, they're like, oh, I got to get my money out. But see, what happens is then what you did is you bought high and now you're selling low. So, you don't want to end up in that bucket. So generally speaking, if you see something going down, don't just automatically start pulling it out unless it's just a bad investment because there are some of those out there. But just wait it out, maybe do some dollar cost averaging, which is where you put in a certain amount of money every so often. So that way your average of how much you bought is, kind of averaged out. I don't know how else to explain it. So that's like saying, right now, for instance, last night, I was looking at my portfolio and I was like, I need to do a little bit of rebalancing because I have a lot in cash. I said, I need to invest some of this. So instead of just throwing everything into something, I just did like $30. I said, okay, I'm gonna do $30 today. Maybe in a few days, I'll do another $30, so on and so forth. So that's called dollar cost averaging. And so what happens is, let's say, for instance, it goes down some more in a few days. Now I'm buying at a lower price. You get what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense. But that's a strategy that you can use as well. Um, right now, like I said, take the emotions out of it. You might be saying, Tiffany, well, dang, why are you investing more money and it's going down? Because I'm thinking more long term. What I'm investing in is for retirement. And I was just talking to a guy today, older gentleman, like I said, older white gentleman, matter of fact. And he said, yeah, I have been investing for years and years and years. And now that he's retired, because he said he's been retired 22 years, he said, if I could go back, I would have invested more. So if that tells you something, because he's like, not to say that I'm hurting right now, but he said, if I knew what I know now when I was younger and actually saving, I would have saved more when I was younger. And he was just explaining to me how it's super important for us as young people to start saving up now. Because he said, if you look at inflation, think about the people that are in retirement or going into retirement. They wasn't expecting inflation to be this high. We don't know what's going to happen when it's our turn. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I would have saved more so that way I could be comfortable. And I told him, I said, when I was in HR, it broke my heart how many people didn't invest into the 401k when the company had a match. Y'all, please take advantage. I just saw a post on my Facebook and I had to go in the comments because somebody was telling people not to invest in their 401k when there's a match. Huh? Excuse me. Excuse me. Um, so I had to hop in the comments. I try to stay out the comments, y'all. I try because everybody has their beliefs and stuff. But that was one of the things I said, no, 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 no. You can't go around telling people this because if your company has a match, why not take advantage of that extra money that's sitting there and it's lowering your taxable income? I have another client that's trying to figure out how to lower it even more. They put in the max into their 401k and they're still trying to figure out strategies to lower their taxable income. That's the name of the game, y'all. You don't stop paying so much taxes for no reason and help yourself out. Whew. I feel like I'm about to go into a soapbox, but I'm not. So anyway, I say that to say, take it from the older generation that's going through this right now, that is already in retirement. Like I said, I had this conversation with a gentleman this morning. He said, If it was up to him, he would have saved more when he was our age. So we need to go ahead and do that because it's Exhibit A. And I mean, just have conversations with your elders, the people that are around you, and see what they suggest. See, how they're doing. Because you can learn a lot from past generations. Like I said, everything is a cycle. So everything that they're going through, we're probably going to go through in one form or the other too. So have these conversations with your elders and people in the community and see what are some things that they wish they would have done differently. So that way you can start doing those things now. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I think I covered enough for today. I missed y'all, can't you tell? So we covered I bonds, and if you just now joining, please go back and replay it. I'm gonna leave it up. We covered I bonds, we covered retirement, we covered 401k plans briefly, all that good stuff. It's super important, y'all, to start making these changes now while we are young because you don't want to end up depending on Social Security when you get old. I'm trying to tell you. Ask anybody that's on Social Security. Oh yeah, thank you, Jazz. Tomorrow's panel, I made that announcement earlier in the live. Tomorrow, I'm doing a domestic violence panel. If you're local in Greensboro, it's at 9 a.m., 111 Bain Street, and I'll make sure I'll put that in the link in bio. But definitely would love to have you come out. It's a judge, it's a sheriff, it's me, and then somebody that's going to be talking about sexual abuse. This stuff is so important, y'all, because really, it could be your mom, it could be your friend, it can be your sister, it can be you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was reading a stat, and it was like 1 in every 3 women in America have experienced some type of abuse. It could, oh yes, it could be your uncle. We see what's going on with Johnny Depp. We see what's going on with Johnny Depp. I'm not going to talk too much on it, but this is not just women. Men go through this stuff too. I've seen it with my own eyes. So please, guys, come get the help that you need as well. It's not okay. It doesn't matter if you're married. It doesn't matter if this is your long-term partner. It doesn't matter if you're a woman, male, any of that. Like, this affects so many people. And it's just important that we start having these conversations. So that way we can understand that it's not okay. Also, real quick plug, podcast Money Talk with Tiff. Last week, I did my 100th episode. And this week I started going to releasing twice a week. So every Tuesday and Thursday, you can catch an episode where I interview people from around the world. I just interviewed somebody from Israel over the weekend, which I was like, okay, we in Israel now. But doing cool things, teaching us the different ways that they invest, spend, save, whatever they do with their money, make money. And the whole premise is the way out of poverty is ideas, right? So the more ideas we can spread together, the more people we can bring up out of poverty, even if it's yourself, and we can just make the world a better place. So that's all my announcements. I'm gonna go ahead and head out. I just did the well. I'm gonna go ahead and head out. Thank you so much for coming on. If you're watching the replay, drop your comments because I go back and look and I answer. So if you have any questions on I-bonds, retirement, 401k, anything I talked about today in this session, let me know and I'll be there. I know my brother on. Hey, all right, bye y'all.